The year is 1861. The South stands divided, its sons marching into a war that will reshape a nation forever. They were young, farmers, laborers, brothers, fathers, bound by loyalty, caught in a storm greater than themselves. For generations, their faces have remained locked behind glass, faded, distant, and forgotten. Now, through the lens of color restoration, those silent photographs breathe again. Every scar, every stare, every wrinkle in a uniform brought vividly to life with modern precision and reverence. This is not fiction. This is history, reborn through color. Welcome to Civil War South in color, forgotten Confederate soldiers brought back to life.
First Lieutenant Hiram A. Crittenden, Muckalee Guards, Company A, 12th Georgia Infantry. Crittenden enlisted as a corporal on 15 June 1861 in Americus, Sumter County, Georgia, and rose through the ranks to first lieutenant. He was wounded on 17 September 1862 at the Battle of Sharpsburg. He was wounded in the arm at the Battle of McDowell, Virginia, on 6 March 1863. At the Battle of Gettysburg, Crittenden was mentioned for gallantry. He was at home on wounded furlough in January 1865, and it appears he resigned his commission in February 1865. Private Henry Bacon Dixon and Private Stephen Marshall Dixon, Company G, 2nd Georgia Infantry. Henry enlisted on 15 July 1861 in Brunswick, Georgia, while Stephen enlisted in Columbus, Georgia on 16 April 1861. Henry died due to disease on 23 September 1861 in Richmond, Virginia. Stephen was also listed as sick in Richmond during the same time, but no later records exist for him. Color Bearer Alexander L. Langston, Company C, 3rd Georgia Infantry. Alexander was mortally wounded on 2 July 1863 at the Battle of Gettysburg and died due to those wounds on 1 December 1863. Corporal Levi C. Langston, Company K, 8th Georgia Infantry. He was killed during the siege of Petersburg, Virginia on July 7, 1864. Levi and his brothers Alexander and Reuben all died in the war. Sergeant Reuben William Langston, Company C, 3rd Georgia Infantry. Reuben was mortally wounded at the Battle of Spotsylvania and died June 3, 1864. Reuben's brother Levi died at Petersburg, and his brother Alexander was mortally wounded at Gettysburg. Private Henry Manley Parnell Sr., Company B, 8th Georgia Infantry, and a comrade. Parnell enlisted on 21 May 1861. He was captured on 5 December 1863 at Knoxville, Tennessee, and held as a POW until taking the oath of allegiance on 13 June 1865. Private Elijah Hennett A. Palmer, Company F, 16th Georgia Infantry. Palmer enlisted on 8 September 1861 in Richmond, Virginia. He died due to disease on 2 June 1862 in Goldsboro, North Carolina. First Sergeant Isaac Levi Middlebrooks, Company E, 46th Georgia Infantry. Middlebrooks enlisted as a private on 4 March 1862 in Hamilton, Georgia, and rose through the ranks to first sergeant. He was killed on 14 May 1863 near Jackson, Mississippi. Private Robert N. Roby, Company G, 46th Georgia Infantry. Roby enlisted in Lumpkin, Georgia on 4 March 1862. He was listed as absent without leave since March 19, 1865. Private John Sanford King, Company A, 16th Georgia Infantry. He was killed at the Battle of Chancellorsville on 3 May 1863. Private Joel Coley Davis, Company K, 5th Georgia Infantry, but likely 5th Georgia Infantry Reserves. He enlisted in September 1864. Private John William Mitchell, Company A, 46th Georgia Infantry. Mitchell enlisted on 1 May 1862 in Thomaston, Georgia. He was sick and sent to the hospital on 28 December 1863 and died a few days later on 31 December 1863.
Private David Gray McCormick, Company K, 49th Georgia Infantry. McCormick enlisted on 7 May 1862 in Pulaski County, Georgia. In January 1863, Seaborn Cone began to serve as a substitute for McCormick. Cone, in turn, had asthma and was himself given a medical discharge on 1 November 1864. Private Wilson Carrington, Company A, 16th Georgia Infantry. Carrington enlisted early in 1861, and he was killed on 14 September 1862 at Crampton's Gap, Maryland. Private James Henry Frazier, Company H, 7th Georgia Infantry. Frazier enlisted on 7 March 1862 in Roswell, Georgia. He was sick with fever in June and July 1862 and in the Episcopal Church Hospital in Williamsburg, Virginia. Otherwise, it appears he was present for duty for the entire war. He surrendered at Appomattox in 1865. Corporal John Jones Wheeler, Company G, 60th Georgia Infantry. Wheeler enlisted on 11 October 1861 in Savannah, Georgia. He was wounded at Thoroughfare Gap, Virginia on 28 August 1862, losing 2 fingers on his hand. He recovered and served until the end, surrendering at Appomattox in 1865. These unidentified soldiers are either men from the Stonecipher family of Rabun County, Georgia, or they are related to the Stonecipher family. Sadly, many images after just one generation lose their story, and thus the story is lost for all time. Sergeant Micaiah Polk Young, Company D, 64th Georgia Infantry. He enlisted on 10 March 1862 in Albany, Georgia, and served some time as a nurse in Quincy, Florida. He was mortally wounded, shot in the left leg, in early February 1865 and died in Jackson Hospital in Richmond, Virginia on 19 February 1865. Samuel A. Porter, Habersham County, Georgia. His pose with his musket, barrel down, is interesting, not often seen in images. Corporal Zachariah Bullock Tate, Gainesville Light Infantry, aka Confederate Sentinels, Company A, 11th Georgia Infantry. Tate enlisted in Atlanta on 3 July 1861. He was captured near Knoxville, Tennessee on 3 December 1863 and sent north as a POW to Rock Island Prison in Illinois. He was released on 22 June 1865 after taking the oath of allegiance. Private James W. McCullough, Company E, 7th Georgia Infantry. McCullough enlisted on 12 May 1862 in Decatur, Georgia. He was mortally wounded at the Battle of Second Manassas on 30 August 1862, treated for a time at a private home in Manassas, and died due to his wounds on 15 November 1862. John Pollard, Company E, 7th Georgia Infantry. 1839 to 1862, enlisted July 11, 1861 in the 7th Georgia Infantry Regiment, Company F, Carroll County Rangers. Killed December 13, 1862 at the Battle of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Buried at the Confederate section of the City Cemetery in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Private James R. Witherington, Company C, 57th Georgia Infantry. He enlisted on May 8, 1862 in Savannah, Georgia, and was killed at the Battle of Baker's Creek, Mississippi on 16 May 1863. First Sergeant Joseph Truman Barber, Company D, 55th Georgia Infantry. He enlisted on 14 May 1862 in Gainesville, Hall County, Georgia. Most of the 55th Georgia Infantry was captured at Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, in September 1863. Upon being paroled, they served as prison guards at Andersville, Georgia, Salisbury, North Carolina, and Florence, South Carolina.
They were ordered to join the Army of Tennessee in March 1865, but the war ended before they could carry out the order to join with the main body of the Army.
The South, once divided, still echoes through these faces. And now, more than a century later, they are no longer forgotten.